And now, from your local election headquarters, the only locally produced political talk show discussing the issues that matter to you. This is Big Country Politics on KTAB.
Well, thanks for being here for this week's edition of Big Country Politics. I'm Victor Sotelo. First, KTAB is reporting on the races that will appear on the March primary ballot. One of those races is in Taylor County is Justice of the Peace Precinct 1, Place 1. KTAB's Danica Hill talked to the candidates for your report from your local election headquarters.
There's more to the job than most may think.
We do administrative hearings on driver's license suspensions. We do occupational driver's license. We do weddings.
Judge Mike McAuliffe is currently the Justice of the Peace for Precinct 1, Place 1.
This job entails a whole lot more than I ever thought in my life.
After serving 2 terms, he's running for re-election. Shauna Joyner is his opponent.
I think we need to move our focus to victim protection and moving people forward.
She currently works as the chief clerk under Judge Sparky Dean.
Both candidates working in this building right behind me. The only thing separating them, about a 10-foot hallway.
Joyner says her current job gives her an advantage.
I am also one of only 2 master clerks in the county. I'm lucky enough to work with the other one, but that is a title that is only given when you're tested at the highest level of court clerk.
And both say they love working in the city of Abilene.
I really enjoy the type of work I get to, and I meet a lot of the citizens out on the streets. And you just can't beat Abilene. Abilene, Taylor County on its own. It's a good place. It's a good place to live, good place to raise a family.
I love Abilene, and Abilene is a really good place to live. But the problem with good is we get stuck there, and when people think good is good enough, then we don't strive to be great.
In Abilene, with coverage you can count on, Danica Hill, KTAB News.
And early voting starts in 3 weeks, February 18th. Election Day is March 3rd. And continuing with your local election headquarters in Taylor County, 104th District Judge Lee Hamilton is retiring, and 3 candidates have filed for that job. Abilene attorneys Blake Norvell, Kevin Wilhelm, and Jeff Probst each has a law practice and would like to take that to the next step, becoming a judge in the 104th. That is preliminary criminal cases, and we spoke with all 3 candidates. Here's Kevin Wilhelm.
There is a disconnect between the courts, the justice system, and individuals. And what we need to do is bring that back together. We need victims to feel vindicated. We need criminals feel like they've been heard.
And we also spoke with Jeff Probst, who says the court, especially the judge, should be held accountable for decisions made in that court.
We need people to have faith in government, and we need to have a government that's worthy of them putting their trust in it. Part of that is consistency. Part of that is an element of predictability, that you know you're going to be able to go and get a certain result.
And Blake Norvell says each case should be seen with patience and objectivity.
And not to legislate from the bench. If I'm elected district court judge and people vote well and vote Norvell, I pledge that everybody in the courtroom is going to be treated fairly and they're going to be heard, and I'm going to put a lot of time into each case and make a good decision.
And once again, early voting starts February 18th, and Election Day is March 3rd. Now to Washington. Lawmakers there say they don't want moms and dads to have to choose between having a family and having a career. The House Committee is looking at several legislative proposals that would close the gaps in paid parental leave for federal workers and create a national paid family leave benefit. KTAB Washington Bureau correspondent Anna Warnicki explains what may happen.
Missouri Republican Congresswoman Ann Wagner says as a mom and a grandma, she knows the joy and stress a newborn can be on parents.
Along with rent and groceries, parents are now paying for medical bills, diapers, car seats.
Wagner told her colleagues in the House Ways and Means Committee that working parents need to be able to raise their child without the fear of losing their career.
The last thing a new parent should have to worry about is whether one is going to lose a job or miss a paycheck.
Wagner says under the current Family and Medical Leave Act, workers have the option to take time off but choose not to because they can't afford it. Wagner says her bill, the New Parents Act, would give parents the option to use a portion of their Social Security after the birth or adoption of a child.
I think it could really be called punished leave, because it does punish working Americans for using paid leave by cutting Social Security.
Texas Democratic Congressman Lloyd Doggett says instead, Congress should consider the Democrats' Family Act. It would raise taxes to make sure every worker has access to 12 weeks of paid leave.
I believe it will provide the compensation we need.
But Texas Republican Kevin Brady says raising taxes would hurt families.
Americans deserve a paid family leave plan that helps families and small businesses, not a one-size-fits-all Washington mandate.
He says the federal government should get out of the way and let employers and employees work together to create a solution that works for them. In Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki.
And debate is still in the subcommittee, so it'll be a while before the House of Representatives actually votes on the issue. And still to come on Big Country Politics, business and commerce in 2020, an in-depth conversation with Abilene Chamber of Commerce President and CEO. We're back in 2 minutes.